No, there are some people will say if you are beyond, if a matter has gone beyond crying, you must just laugh. But sometimes when you hear, as if you listen, but sometimes I mean some of us have stopped trying to listen to pronouncements from Mount Olympus, of which the National Assembly really should be when they talk, because we elected them to make laws and make laws and produce policy options that should that should ensure that we, their constituents, are properly provisioned with things that will enable us to live a meaningful life. We're not asking for too much. I mean, already we are used to a situation of where both hard and soft infrastructures are not really in existence. Our roads have become death traps with a lot of craters and gullies across. I don't know what it is like in the north, but because people, I get to hear that in the north, the successive military administrations and their son, Muhammadu Buhari, ensure that their roads are well paved. From I was seeing something in the social media about roads from Kaduna, Zamfara, Maduguri. I mean, somebody was posted that. Say, well, since Nigeria leadership is a presidency is a turn by turn, well, he must be congratulated for taking care of his own people when it was his own turn. I mean, we can only wonder why our own son, as it were, couldn't fix Lagos Ibadan. I mean, Lagos. It took many years even to get Lagos Ibadan on a motorable level. I mean, up to now, Lagos Ibadan up to the toll gate, Ibadan hasn't really been completed. In the when you talk about how how highways are made in terms of even lining and demarcating the roads so that there's no way you can get confused whether you are on your lane or you are not on your lane. Up till now, I mean, as for Lagos Ibadan, I mean Lagos Abeokuta through Sango, Ota, through Papa, through Ewekoro, Wasini, and up to Abeokuta. I mean, you then wonder why our own son couldn't do that. So I wouldn't blame the other our brothers up north to ensure that they took something home, as they will normally say. I mean, but considering the fact that the Ota is an industrial section of Ogun State, where I was made to believe, yes, and it has to be right, correct, that the large IGR of Ogun State is derived from. You wonder why anybody who sits in Okemoson would not think of, even now, from the principle of enlightened self-interest, should fix that road. Apart from the fact that the only people that now use that road network from Lagos. People just ended their journey in Abeokuta. Don't let us deceive ourselves that it's a federal road. And also consider the fact that right in the deputy governor of Ogun State, an engineer, I mean, I don't know which area of engineering her own is from that section of the town, of the state. And I reckon she must have a country home or family home there. Now I have to go through Lagos to join the express before getting to our office in Abeokuta in Ogun State. Isn't that amusing? So we must laugh. It must amuse us. Even though those of us, and especially commercial drivers and all commuters who has to transfer business from Songui for Baku to Nihalea, will have to pass through that road every day. Every day they lose one tire, they lose one shock absorber, they lose something in their vehicle. Apart from the fact that it also affects their body, they have no option. So you wonder where our conscience is. The house of that place in Songo also has a member of the House of Reps. Yes, the guy is, I mean, from that axis. Yes, he may not be from Songo, but it's another person. So definitely we'll pass through that road coming to Abeokuta, the state capital. Of course, if it's coming from Lagos, from Abuja, I mean, you need not get to that axis. Even then, from Alakoko in Lagos, Abule go up to the toll gate is hell. I also think that those who live in that axis would need not be confined to any hellfire again. They've had their fair share of the inferno. As a member of the House of Assembly, who also lives there. And down the line to Wasimi, you also have a member of the House of Reps who has a property there and is from there. The former speaker lives in Ifo. Not that he comes from Ifo. Even as a speaker, he traverses. If he goes to Abeokuta on a daily basis, yes, because it's a place where people can go on a daily basis to Abeokuta from. I used to have somebody in my uncle's house in Ifo, who was working at Papa, and he was going to work every day from Ifo. Then we can talk about when the roads were roads, not when they have become craters and God is. The secretariat, Ifo secretariat is on that road. If I arrive from in front of that place, you have to take a one way, I mean, to avoid the place, the oncoming traffic. But that isn't the business of our lawmakers in Abuja who are primarily responsible for that road. Even if they have ceded it to Ogun State, they still have a responsibility. But I don't think the ceding it is official. And Papa, we should make your work, Papa, to interchange Agamu. We should make your journey, I mean, less tasking if you have to go to the express around Mowe, Bafo, and then Ibadan, Shagamu, Ijebu Ode, I mean, towards the east, coming from this area like Ifo, Papa to Shagamu interchange should have half your journey time. It's simply not possible. Yet that's supposed to be a federal route. Was interchange. That's the same road that leads you to Ilaro and some other part of it. Forget it. That's even no road. This has been there for years. Again, you then wonder whether there's an original sin committed by those who live in this axis. But the same the same National Assembly, according to the president of Senate, says acquiring a new presidential jet to add to the fleet of six, which Ireland is maintained by some tune of 15, is it 13 or 15 million? So far, they spent that to maintain the six fleets. It's going to add another one because it's an emergency thing. It has to be quickly done so that the welfare of our president is paramount. And like the one of the spokesmen, I mean, there's so many of them talking there from presidency, says that we really want our president to die like president of Malawi, when about Riketi, or that of Iran. I mean, who says that those is because they don't have a good aircraft? I mean, we know sometimes these things the planes are blown off for opponents or to get at their targets. I mean, not necessarily because the planes were bad. At least we know that we know one of the emirs in the north also died in the plane, and we know that chief security advisor also died in a plane crash. And we also know that Dia merely escaped. So if Dia had gone that way, we would have played the aircraft. So these people should spare us their gibbish thing. I mean, if they have no other thing to do to justify where they have to, I mean, in terms of their priority. Perhaps the last vice president of the country was sleeping at the Abuja garage, or he was sleeping in the guest house, that we needed to commit another 21 billion for the residence of our vice president. And we're talking about a country where the citizens are presently experiencing terrible times. I don't know of anyone who is not affected, no matter how rich you are, because people perceive you to be comfortable. You have more responsibility to the weaker ones who sees you as the person they should simply just go run to, especially if they have medical challenges for their health, even for basic living, for food items. So everyone is affected. And it's also about perception. What they need to do is to perceive you to be you have the resources, and how are you going to tell them you can't help them when what somebody needs at some point in time is may not be more than 1,000 to feed himself and maybe his son. Because I mean, so if we are now saying what should be paramount to our Senate president is the need for another presidential jet to make it seven. I wonder why they think presidential jet is a status symbol. How? I don't get it. The Pope is also a head of state. It is the leader of the biggest church on earth, the Roman Catholic. The ambassador doesn't have a private jet. Anytime the man needs to travel, anytime he needed to travel, what he needs is just put the flag of Italy into one of their commercial flight. This is it, and it wouldn't diminish because it has not diminished the status of the Pope. The Queen of England traveled by British Airways. What they need to do is put the flag there, so they don't have to keep specific one and maintain specific aircrafts and maintaining them at humongous fund every year. And these are the people we often run to go and borrow to balance our budget. They just laugh at us. They know that we are not likely to be able to pay the money back, but it's a way to extract some concessions for us when they get when international politics sets in. We are forced to vote their ways, United Nations. We are forced, as some of African countries are now being forced to adopt same-sex marriages because they didn't want to lose the benefits. Now we are now being encouraged to go GMO so that their genetic modified products, which they would now need to sell to us and control our food supply, can be done. So why are we enslaving ourselves? Because of our inability to simply be disciplined. Buying debts, that's it, building 21, I mean, 21 billion to build a, when even up till now they are still debating the minimum wage for Nigerian workers to sustain. Yeah, the last time the first lady is not in the constitution. We have always endured them, but now for somebody who said, "Oh, we had our money before," look at what our office is doing provision for. Yet we can hear around us, even power. We need a jet. Oh, we needed the president needed a jet to be able to show that he's the president of Nigeria. As my people will say, Tolúbàdàn bá wọ níkà, òun ẹgbẹ́ bàbá ẹni tí í ṣe. That is, if Olúbàdàn, the paramount ruler of Ibadan land, which is about, I don't know whether it's the second biggest town in Western sub-region, or the, I mean, if he appears in short, in Ojaba Market or in Mapo Hall, people knows who is coming and who is around. You see, it doesn't have to be in the big Agbada Ashoetu or whatever. So what are we? Well, we should just take it that when we are being, even when somebody is being gang raped, that the best he can do is to find a way to endure it, since he was unable to repel his assailants. Because there's nothing she could do. All right, thank you.